The Nokia X30 5G is one interesting device to consider. While it has that conventional design of recent Nokia devices, it was built different. I'm talking Gorilla Glass Victor's AMOLED display, aluminum frame. That's quite the build quality for a mid-range device around $500. Is this the best device yet from Nokia? Is it a flagship killer? Let's find out. The Nokia X30 5G from my usage so far is one device I truly appreciate its form and build quality. I kid you not when I say it has this sort of pixel feel, though not completely on the software side of things, but mostly on the hands-on feel, display quality and overall user experience. Since I use similar wallpaper on both this and my Pixel 7, there are times where I've picked up the X30 when I actually intended to pick up the Pixel because the display quality feels so much similar. I don't even realize until after a few seconds within the UI of the X30. But this is not a video to compare the Nokia X30 with the Google Pixels. It's not a flagship device, and even though it gets a flagship build, it's a mid-range device, so it's only fair to be treated as such. Now, Nokia also released the G60 alongside the X30, and it's a more affordable option sporting the same processor and even gets higher refresh rate but with lesser build quality. I have a video comparing both which will be linked in the description. Now, there's plenty to love about the Nokia X30 5G. However, one of those will probably not be the processor used. That is the Snapdragon 695, which is actually not a problem unless you are particular about certain things, which we'll talk more about later. It retails for around the $500 mark, but in Nigeria it is priced at about 320,000 naira. Not sure how much longer this price will remain so because inconsistent exchange rates. Now, that is somewhere in the price range of the Samsung Galaxy A53, and to some extent this is actually on par with the A53, even edges out in some areas, especially with build quality and probably software reliability. Now, the design on appearance carries that same camera bomb that some of us want Nokia to get rid of, but its build quality, like I mentioned before, is mostly flagship worthy. It has an aluminum frame and a Gorilla Glass Victor's protected display. The wear has premium plastic finish and does well to hide smudges. This is the cloudy blue color option, but I think most will find the white one the most attractive. It's a device that feels really nice to hold in the hands, and I'll say it achieves that premium feel Nokia was going for. As you can probably already tell from the box, it is crafted with recycled materials, and Nokia says it is built to last. The box also looks to be done from recycled materials, hence this look, which is actually the first I've seen on any smartphone. I like it. Now, the X30 is tagged Nokia's most eco-friendly smartphone to date with 100% recycled aluminum and 65% recycled plastic build. But we all know when a brand starts talking eco-friendly and saving the planet, we can guess where they are headed. You don't get a charger in the box with the Nokia X30 5G. Nokia follows the likes of Samsung, Apple and Google on that front. So you better plan to spend extra cash on a charging brick if you don't already have one. The X30 5G, like most Nokia devices, promises 3 years of OS upgrades thanks to the Android One program. This is currently on Android 12, so that is up to Android 15 guaranteed, which is very good, and you don't see that for most mid-range devices except Samsung and Google Pixel. The software is stock Android and has that clean and bloatware-free UI feel. However, we don't get full Material UI integration here, particularly on the app icons, but we get it with the rest of the UI. The X30 for this region comes with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage, which is not expandable, so no SD card slot. I'd say that's more RAM and storage than most devices at this price point though. Now, the X30 is a 5G device and also supports eSIM alongside its dual nano SIM slot. It will work with MTN 5G here in Nigeria and probably any other 5G that gets released in the long run. The headphone jack is gone, and we also do not get stereo speakers with the Nokia X30 5G. However, I find the bottom firing mono speaker to be quite loud with good quality, but at this price point, we really should be having stereo speakers. The X30 gets IP67 rating for water and dust resistance, and that's a really good improvement from previous Nokia devices. Talking about previous Nokia devices, this is the first with a proper AMOLED display, and I have to say it is really good. As I mentioned before, I could barely differentiate it from my Pixel 7 when I used the same wallpaper. It's great to see that Nokia went all out on the build quality of the X30 5G, and from my personal user experience so far, it is one of those devices I want to hold on to. It gets 90 Hz refresh rate, which makes moving around the UI quite smooth for the most part. However, you don't get the option to set it to 90Hz always. It's either 60Hz or adaptive. So the device stays at 60Hz and switches to 90 depending on what you are doing. As much as I'd love to have it at 90Hz always, I think this is the best balance between good battery life and high refresh rate. Also, not forgetting to point out the fact that most of the competition at this price point gets 120Hz refresh rate, except the Google Pixels and the iPhones. Now, it gets an optical fingerprint scanner, which I find pretty fast and responsive each time. It has no issues using it to unlock the device so far. The Nokia X30 5G is powered by the Snapdragon 695, which in many ways is a good processor, except for the fact that it has a few limitations such as no 4K video recording. Aside that, it's a pretty solid processor and will give you stable performance, handling pretty much everything you throw at it. Pair that with 8 gigs of RAM and the cleanest software experience, and that sums up to a really good user experience. Its gaming performance is pretty standard, I'd say. Nothing exceptional, but you will get balanced gaming experience at medium graphics for most games. It might not give you the high graphics gaming performance of the likes of Redmi's Note 11 Pro Plus 5G, but I had no issues gaming here with the games I tried, specifically Apex Legends and Call of Duty Mobile. With Apex Legends, I was able to play at consistent 50 FPS using the recommended graphics setting and very high frame rate. In all my sessions of gaming, the Nokia X30 5G did well on heat management, and never in my period of use did it get uncomfortably hot, be it gaming, camera use, or extended periods of multitasking. So I'd say on performance, it's a pretty balanced and solid device. Its battery capacity is 4200 mAh, and while most may say 5000 mAh should be the minimum, I'd say it's quite enough. I have never had to worry about its battery draining within a day of use, so it's safe to say this will take you through an entire day of average use, even with always on display enabled. The Nokia X30 5G comes with two functional rear cameras comprising of a 50 megapixel main camera with OIS and a 13 megapixel ultra wide camera. The selfie camera is 16 megapixels. You will find the cameras to be satisfactory for the most part, especially with the rear cameras. While the photos could use a little bit of vibrance in some HDR scenarios, it does a pretty good job of capturing color accurate photos. The ultra-wide shots look close in color profile when compared to regular shots. Its low light performance is also impressive. You get good looking photos from its rear cameras when indoors, and night mode shots also come out great. Where I find a little bit of dissatisfaction is in its selfies. You need the proper lighting conditions to get the best, but it's not always consistent. Portrait looks good, but the edge detection is not that great. On the bright side, this is a Snapdragon powered device and Gcam will get you the best out of these cameras. Another area you might also find dissatisfaction with these cameras is on video performance, as a device at this price point really should be shooting in 4K. The maximum the Nokia X30 can do is 1080p at 60 FPS. The optical image stabilization though is impressive, and the video quality looks good if you are not nitpicky about recording in 4K. Okay, so the Nokia X30 5G has a 16 megapixel selfie camera, which looks great for the most part, except that it can't shoot 4K. Maximum is 1080p 60 FPS, not even from the rear cameras. So both selfie and rear cameras 1080p 60 FPS, and that can be blamed on the selection of a Snapdragon 695 processor, which has that limitation, no 4K video recording. But yeah, it looks okay for the most part, although on the viewfinder I cannot see the skies. Doesn't look like there's any HDR processing here, but I guess we'll find out after it processes. Can't judge from the viewfinder alone though. So yeah, Nokia X30 5G 4K, 1080p 1080p 60 FPS from both selfie and rear cameras. Let me know what you think, and also its mic quality. The Nokia X30 5G is a really good device and probably the best I've used from Nokia so far. From its premium build quality down to the overall user experience, I can highly recommend this. The image processing from the selfie camera could be better though, and pricing could have also been better, at least to undercut the competition. But I guess with such flagship build quality and some standard features, the pricing is probably justified. I'd like to know what you think about the Nokia X30 5G in the comments. I have a video comparing it to the Nokia G60 right here. You can check it out, and hopefully soon I'll have a review on the G60 right there. Peace.